Welcome to the Prophecy Club. We are going to talk about timing today. As you recall, it was July the 14th, I believe it was, 1987. And that was the night that God spoke to me and said, Stan, I will give you the money to drill the well in Israel. And by the way, I have to give a disclaimer. Every time I say that, cannot guarantee where we're going to get the money drilled for or hit oil in Israel. But that same night, he also showed me Leslie holding up newspapers, and the audible voice of God said, when those prophecies I gave your wife begin to come to pass, people from all directions will begin to turn and listen to your ministry. See, up to this point, they don't like what this ministry has been given to bring them. They don't like Dimitri's message. They don't want to hear the negative. They want to party and have a good time. But when the prophecies that we're about to discuss in detail, and I'm going to try to put some timelines on it, try to let you know when I think these are about to come to pass, and sad to say, I think I'm right. But God has not told me when they're coming to pass. But that's where I'm going to try to paint a picture for you today as far as when these things are about to happen. Now, before I get into it, yes, we're asking everyone to join the Prophecy Club, $9.90 a month automatically. Click the QR code at the bottom, and you can do that very easily. Also, quickly, I want to remind you that we have some active prophecies that we're watching. Don't forget them. 11 prophecies say the dollar is going to fall. For that, we'll ask you to call cornerstoneassetmetals.com. 14 say that we're going to get a food shortage. No surprise, josephkitchen.com. And also 17 say a meteor and a tsunami and earthquake is going to hit America. 33 say suitcase nukes are going to hit us. And for that, I'll send you to EMPShield.com. Use the promo code PROPHECY to get you a $50 discount. 7 say a surprise Russian nuclear attack will destroy America in 1 hour. Now, before I go and talk about this, I'm going to be kind of setting some dates. And I'll tell you right now, I know setting dates, if you're a prophecy ministry, is the death of your ministry if they don't come to pass. So I'm telling you right up front, God has not told me these are the dates. He's not told me when this is going to come to pass. I'm just guessing. I'm trying to guess accurately, but they are guesses. I'm just trying to put a picture together for you. So before I get into trying to paint what I think is a very important picture about how these prophecies might come to pass, and I can say right quick, I think 2024 is going to be a very, very powerful and important year for prophecies coming to pass. So before I get into them, let me give you a brief refresher, just in case we have someone tuned in that's never heard some of this stuff before. So, quickly, April 15th, 2002, my wife, Prophet Leslie, had this dream in which she was shown that Arafat would go into the hospital and die there. And it happened about 2 years later. On 11/11/04, he died in the hospital just like she was told. So that confirms this. Anyway, she also heard the audible voice of God say, Israel will give the Palestinians a state. The Palestinian state will be a temporary measure to allow the Israelis time to strengthen their military. Oil will be discovered in Israel, and the oil will make the Jews willing to fight for the land. Then Israel and America will go against most of the rest of the Arab world. Now, I'm going to keep moving because I got some important points to make here in a second. I covered this a couple of days ago, but again, this is a refresher for me to tie this together. Saudi deal could be in place by early 2024. Now, the thing I want you to see right here is right here. Even this is from Jerusalem Post. It's saying by early 2024, a Saudi deal or splitting Israel could happen. And I believe this is probably it. I don't think God has exactly told me, at least not confirmed enough for me to say for sure. So even the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman is saying that it could be early 2024. The article goes on to say the first quarter of 2024. That's huge. Now, another article came out. Israeli ambassador Aharoni to Newsmax said a peace deal hinges on domestic approval. In other words, whether Israel will approve it. So we're getting very, very close, and you can pause and read the whole article. That's a point that I need to make. All right, now, let's put this together, because if you back up to, let's see, this one. Then January 22 of '06, again, the audible voice of God speaking to Prophet Leslie Johnson, my wife. She heard, first word she heard was actually, Israel refuses help to America. So we do not know if this is the order that they will be fulfilled. This was the first thing she heard, but I think that this is the order in which it will be fulfilled. Omer ushers in Palestinian state. Catastrophe hits America. Now, just let me take those two. Let's come back to them just a second. So if you put that on the calendar, I believe this is the way it's going to happen. The 49 days are the counting of the Omer, and since 2006, this is the best thing we've come up with, trying to understand what he meant by Omer ushers in Palestinian state. The counting of the Omer are 49 days. I'll back up and show you that. The 49 days between first fruits and Pentecost. These are the counting of the Omer between here. Now, if you put on the calendar, in 2024, it would be one of these days, or if you want to put it on a year calendar, it would be these days. So, if the Palestinians are given a state, the highest probability would be that it would be one of these dates, either this calendar or this calendar. If that comes to pass, then the rest of this is going to be pretty much in the bag. So let me refresh your memory. Israel gives Palestinian state. Israeli will then strengthen their military. Oil will be discovered. Let's go on to the next one. Now, again, to put it in perspective. Then March 25th of 2022, Chris Reed had an angel come to him, and the angel stood with a $50 bill, tore off a third of it. Then people started handing him newspaper headlines. These are the newspaper headlines. Many of them confirmed what Leslie was told. The U.S. dollar drops 30%. I'm going to skim through it because I'm just giving you a refresher. Perfect storm, inflation reaches new high. Food shortage crisis, wheat and bread imports are at a stalemate. Now let me put that part on a calendar. Now again, I do not know. I'm just guessing. I do not know. The God has not told me this is the way it'll happen. This is my best guess. Okay, so we also know that the BRICS gold-backed currency it goes live January 1. So if the Palestinians are given a state, it would most likely happen in here. Then we could see the dollar start dropping in value, 30% down, 50% down, 66% down, to eventually worthless as leaves blowing on in the wind. So dollar drops 30%. Then we would see inflation, food shortage, and we would hear people protesting, "We want our entitlements." Now let me say something about that. I just read another article I thought not to put in here, but it is basically saying that they do not think that they're going to get a budget. If that budget were to continue to shut down, it may very well be by another. I mean, here we are now at the 1st of October. So if you go October, November, December, January, February, if the fight were to last that long, very possible by January, February, we could see them holding up signs saying, "We want our entitlements." Very possible. I'm saying I think that 2024 may be the year that the internal revolution starts. You remember Dmitry was told in 1984 the fall of America would start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. And if you add 40 years to that, 84, 94, 04, 14, 24, that puts us right in the ballpark. So it could very well be, I do not know for certain, could very well be that 2024 is the start of the internal revolution and all of this happening. So let's continue looking. All right, so dollar drops here, food shortage, entitlements, Omer hits. Then the two-state solution comes out sometime in this area here. That could also bring the earthquake. Now, I put these here to just refresh your memory. So these prophecies could be taking place in this kind of a ballpark. Israel gives Palestinians a state. Israelis strengthen the military. Oil discovered in Israel. Oil make the Jews willing to fight for the land. Israel and America go and fight the Arab world. Now, on the the oil. I personally believe that the deal will probably close possibly by the, I've been telling my close friends, I'm giving it a 70% chance by the end of this year and a 100% chance by the end of 2024 that I will have the money to go and drill the well in Israel. Now that's a guess too. But I think all of this is about to start, and that's why I'm doing my best here to try to warn you today. Okay, so then we have Omer ushers in Palestinian state, catastrophe hits America. Those two there could very well be happening in the first half, I'll say it that way, the first half of 2024. Then one of America's greatest times of need, that makes sense. Okay, so if we split America, I've got 12 different people that say that they heard audible voice, an angel visit, all kinds of things, saying that if we split Israel, God will split America. And that split will be from the Great Lakes all the way down to, Leslie saw it to Tupelo, Mississippi. Others have seen it split all the way down into the Gulf of Mexico. And some of them saw it was just a widening of the Mississippi River. Others have seen that it is like practically a whole ocean between the east and west sides of America. So that makes sense that if the dollar drops here, we want our entitlements, two-state solution is reached, they split Israel here, God splits America with an earthquake, then we could very easily see one of America's greatest times of need. And that could very easily happen someplace in May, June, July, August of next year. Then Israel refuses to help America. I could see that happen because all of a sudden America gets hit with a devastating earthquake. I mean, literally, our nation is split from the Great Lakes all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, perhaps. I mean, devastating. Millions of people killed. And so America then cries for all of the world to help her. And her good friend Israel won't help. That's the reason it says Israel refuses help to America. Or you can see it another way here. Israel refuses help to America. Then, because Israel says, no, we're not going to help you. Why would they say that? Because you just split our nation and we didn't like it. There'll be a lot of Israelis that will not be happy giving up part of the land. And God is not going to be happy. So, then we could see Israel is attacked. Why? Because the world sees, A, America just got hit with a devastating earthquake. B, Israel is not helping America. So the world might say, well, this is the time for us to attack Israel and take Israel out. So they attack Israel, but America still sends troops, even though we have been devastated. Then the next headline, I'm going to skip back over to this one, would be chaos reigns as Americans protest help to Israel. So, even though Israel hates us, we make our biggest mistake. We turn our back on Israel. We hurt Israel. And of course, the Bible says that I will bless those that bless you, I will curse those that curse you. So one of the reasons that God has blessed America is because America has blessed Israel. So when we turn our back on Israel, even though we send troops, God sees our heart. Chaos reigns as Americans protest help to Israel, and then God says, that's it, take America out. So then it will start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. Now, the presidential election takes place November the 5th. I do not know what starts the internal revolution. Rest assured, I've asked God plenty of times, but he keeps his secrets very close to him. But it could be that one of these 4 indictments actually puts him in prison. And at that, the Marines say, we've had enough, and we go in and get him. On the other hand, it could be that there's more cheating in the next election, and at that, the Marines say, we've had enough, we're going to put a stop to it. My guess is that the internal revolution will probably happen at least in 2024. However, I also put it over here, these things may be happening in 2025. The states secede from the nation, and an internal revolution might even start here. Then a new dollar comes out with a new cell phone here. I put this here because this could be the time when the suitcase nukes hit. So again, I'm just guessing. So this could be, if this is the internal revolution started by the communists, some of the people start fighting against the government, starts right here, and then Russians could attack anytime afterwards. I want to believe, and I'm going to talk to you about that a second, I want to believe that the Russians will attack, well, as Vicky Parnell said, as the bombs come down, we go up. Where do we go to? We go to the marriage supper of the Lamb, right up here, where Jesus comes forth and he serves us for about 4 months. Now, why do I think it's here? The Bible says there are 4 months and then the harvest. Now, the Bible doesn't explain why it says that. I think it's saying that when we go to the marriage supper of the Lamb, we've got 4 months and then the harvest. The harvest is the grape harvest, or when Jesus returns for the Battle of Armageddon. Now, that's a whole lot of guessing. I've been studying the prophecy things here for like 40 years, okay? It's been my full-time job for 30 years. I'd like to be able to tell you I know everything, but unfortunately I don't. But I'm doing my best job to try to guess and put a perspective. Now, so if the counting of the Omer, which are these days here, and if that starts next year, it could be that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that we go to the marriage supper of the Lamb next year. And by the way, some ways that would be okay to me, but I don't think so. I think I've still got to find oil in Israel. I've got a lot of things to do. I have tried to fit that into that understanding, and it just can't seem to make it fit. But I'm also telling you it could be that there's another 4 years or 5 years, probably more like 3 years inserted between here and here. I do not know that, though. So let me summarize where I am so far. So if BRICS goes live January 1, 2024, and that's what they say they're going to do, that would make sense that the dollar would drop, food shortages, inflation, we want our entitlements is all taking place in here. About that time, somewhere in these days, the Palestinians are given a state. We split Israel. When we split Israel, given the two-state solution, the Palestinian state, God hits us with an earthquake, splits America from the Great Lakes all the way down to probably the Gulf of Mexico. That would explain Israel give the Palestinians a state, and Israel strengthens their military. They strengthen the military because oil is a covenant in Israel. My guess is, this is just a big fat guess, okay, assuming, again, I'm guessing today, and you're giving me some latitude to guess, okay? Some people want to know my guess. Some people don't want to know my guess. They just want to know when it's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. It's my guess, best I can do for you. So if I get the money to go drill the well in Israel in 2023, and I don't think I have to drill a well just between me and you. I think I'm going to go over there and pray over an area, and God is going to cause an earthquake to release the oil down deep, and it'll flow into oil wells that are already previously drilled years and years and years ago, because the prophecy said that oil must come forth quickly. Then, of course, we're not going to stop at that. We're going to continue drilling wells. So that would all fit here too. I see a lot of things happening, and that's what I'm trying to make a point as. So Israel gives Palestinian state somewhere in here. Israel strengthens the military because oil is discovered. Then the oil make the Jews willing to fight for their land. Israel and America go against most of the rest of the Arab world. That would also fit to be someplace in this area. It could be on into the early part of 2025. Then, now let's keep looking. All right, so then we get an earthquake here. After the earthquake, that's Omer ushers in Palestinian state. Catastrophe hits America. America cries for help. Israel says, I ain't going to help. Then Israel is attacked. Chaos reigns. So it could very well be that the internal revolution could start someplace in here or even next year in 2025. All I'm trying to say is, watchmen, keep watching. Let me also say something else. I know that YT, one of the platforms we're on, shadow bans us. It was about a year ago we got our channel deleted. They deleted 5 years of Bible studies, 5 years of sermons, 5 years of daily programs, And they wouldn't even tell us why. They said, well, we broke their agreements. No, we didn't break their agreements. We went on Twitter and we complained on Twitter. And they answered back and said, okay, let us check on it. A couple of days later, they said, no, we aren't putting you back on. Our message, I think, is a message. What I think actually happened is I think their AI computer went in and looked at all of the things that I said. And they said, no. This guy, he knows too much. We can't put him on. So all the platforms do, we are severely held back from platforms. I hope you're hearing this. We're only up to like 8,500. We've been back on YouTube for a year now. We should already be up to pretty close to 100,000 subscribers again. And we're almost not growing on Facebook either. I think somehow they have a way to where they are not letting people find us. It's like they allow us to play the programs, but we don't get any new people. Okay, so what does that mean? What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say, if we are going to get this message to a nation in serious, serious trouble, it ain't going to happen by the platforms, much as we are doing our best to try to do that. It's going to happen from you. The one thing they can't stop is from folks like you clicking like, share, and subscribe. It's supposed to be that if you click like, then the algorithm sends it out to more people. But that doesn't happen with us. If more people subscribe it, it's supposed to be sending it out for more people to find it. But that is not happening. I assume the only thing that they can't stop is if you click share and you actually share it with your email list. And here's the thing. When this stuff starts happening, yeah, people, I've been saying this since 1987. There's millions of people through the years have heard this. Dimitri traveled all across America for some 10 years, speaking in all kinds of radio and TV and churches, giving this message. Out of 10 years of work, as far as I know, there's only me and one other ministry that ever mentioned the name Dimitri Duduman. I shudder to think about all of those pastors that had Dimitri into their church, all of the radio and TV stations that had him on and haven't bothered to carry his message. America is not getting this warning. And of course, thanks to the devil's, that's probably all I should say about that sentence. But the one he is going to hold accountable, me and you. He's going to say, what'd you do with my gospel? And he's going to say, what'd you do with my warning? You got to send this out. Now, let me go back to what I was saying. I put it in summary another way. So probably in 2023, we'll see the fall of the SWIFT system. I'll probably get the money to go drill the well in Israel. Remember my disclaimer. And it might be, I want to move 35 suitcase nukes detonating on American soil at least out here into 2024, preferably up in 2025. But I don't know. BRICS getting the gold-backed currency, there's no question about that. That's January. Dollar takes a no warning 30% devaluation. I don't think that's a question. That's first quarter. Perfect storm, first quarter. Dollar takes no warning 50% devaluation, maybe mid-24. Food crisis, mid-24 at the latest. Israeli-Palestinian two-state solution. Omer ushers in Palestinian state. Both of those, first 4 months of the year. Right here. April, May, June. No question. That's got to happen. Then riots, civil unrest, mid-23 at the latest. Earthquake, mid-latest 24. One of America's greatest times of need, 24. Israel refuses to help America. Israel is attacked. America sends troops. Probably 24. I'd like to think 25. But you see what I'm saying? It all hinges. All of this, let me back up. All hinges on this and this. And in that the very headline, and this is Jerusalem Post, says by early 2024. And then we look at it, we see BRICS is also turning on January. Okay, you put those two things together, and it's removing a lot of doubt about when this is going to come. That's the reason I'm saying, brothers and sisters, you got to start sending this out, because the platforms ain't going to do it. They are trying to shut us down every way they possibly can. As a matter of fact, I can share something else. When the money comes in to drill the well in Israel, someplace in there, I believe I'm going to have the money to start buying radio and TV stations. And I'm not buying time on them. With my plan, I'm going to buy the station. And I'm going to reprogram it. And I'm going to kick all the pre-tribbers off. And I'm going to start putting these people that have been kicked off at the platforms because they're telling the truth. And I want to fill up those radio and TV stations with people that will tell the people the truth. And I probably won't even charge them for being on there, because I just want to get the truth out. Okay, I think I got a couple more things to share. Okay, so here we are. One of America's greatest times of need. Israel refuses help to America. Israel attacked America, sends troops. Chaos reigns as Americans protest help to Israel. Someplace in here, Trump is arrested. Military takes charge. Dimitri's prophecy. The fall of America start with an internal revolution. All of this probably taking place here. Probably. My best guess. I'm praying it's a lot longer than that, but maybe not. Now, let me jump to something else. Berkey water filters are going away. As of yesterday, we have 12 Royals headed our way, be here in 2 or 3 weeks, that have not been spoken for. We're totally out of filters, and we're totally out of the filters that are coming our way. Now, what has happened is, some people might say, well, that was stupid. But we put all the money we possibly could in buying Berkey water filters so that you would be able to have Berkey water filters. And we're in a jam. I almost got in the red in our account. Every extra penny is gone trying to help the people get Berkey water filters. So if you can help us, now would be a very good time to do so. Also, we know that the grid is going down. And this is a very good place to check griddown.com. If you use prophecy, the word prophecy, get a 7% discount off this. This would give you a little bit of a fill-in when the grid goes down. But of course, the ultimate solution, in my opinion, is solar. Solar plus battery, along with maybe if you can afford it. By the way, my system cost me about probably $150 a month, more than what I was paying for not having the system. So I would send you to solarsurge.net and call Joe, great guy. He's the one that helped me get my system, and he can help you get the system. There's 3 different ways to look at it. Either just solar, solar plus battery, or solar plus battery plus generator backup. He can help you get a system so that when the electrical grid goes down, and some of the prophecies say it's not coming back, you can have electricity. Ideal, all 3 is right here, solarsurge.net. Now notice it says .net. Yes, we do have a Bible study. I'll be starting it here in a few hours. I'm recording this Friday afternoon, 3:35 p.m. But of course, it won't play until Monday. I thought this was real interesting. These 2 calves, were born, one the day before and one on September 25th of 2014, which just happens to be a Shemitah. A Shemitah means 7, like 2 means, or a couple means 2, or a dozen means 12. In Hebrew, Shemitah means 7. And so I believe the prophecy is saying that it started 7 years of plenty, followed by 7 years of famine. 7 years of plenty because the black and white cow has a perfect 7 on his forehead. The red cow has a scribbled 7 on his forehead. What are the chances both those cows are born within 24 hours and released to the public on the same day? I think it's of God saying 7 years of plenty started in 2014, and 7 years of famine started in 2021 and concludes to 2028. That's still in the ballpark. A lot of people think it's the tribulation. Now, that would mean that we are at this point in a famine. So what do? You do what Joseph did. The world lived off of bread. But in all the land of Egypt there was bread. The people cried to Pharaoh for bread. That's wheat. So the world lived off of wheat for 7 years, and I'm going to recommend you do the same thing. We have had 150 food sources destroyed the last 18 months. No arrests, we've had train derailments, China stopped container ships, threatening to stop all of them, Russia attacked Ukraine, breadbasket. I mean, our food is under attack. Klaus Schwab says you will own nothing but be happy. They're in the process of taking everything we own. This is a loaf of bread I actually cook. I actually cook this. And as a matter of fact, I've already had a slice of bread this morning. And I've noticed that as long as I have at least one slice a day, I feel okay. It's best if I have two slices, like one for breakfast, one for lunch. Even if I'm not hungry, it's not that I'm eating it for food or because I'm hungry. It's because my body demands it. So josephkitchen.com, they can point you to get the right wheat, all the wherewithal you need to make bread. One loaf cut into 14 slices. If you eat 2 slices a day, I find that about one loaf feeds one person per week. One slice breakfast, one slice dinner, better nutrition, long storage life, some 3,000 years, 10 minutes to make bread machine. The weakness is the electricity, but if you go to josephkitchen.com, they can show you how to solve all of those problems. So what is an EMP Shield device? It's a device you can put on your car and your house that in an EMP attack is supposed to stop the attack. And if you go to empshield.com and if you use the promo code Prophecy, they give you a $50 discount. They also have videos up there, shows you how to install it on your car and your house and everything, and it's not difficult at all. I've got one of them right here. Red goes to red, black goes to black, green goes to the car, body of your car, and you just peel it off the back, stick it under there. Got another device that goes on your house. So not complicated. Take you about 10 minutes to put them in. So empshield.com, promo code is Prophecy. Rule number 1, make sure your name is written in the book of life. Rule number 1, ask Jesus to forgive your sins. That's the most important thing. Number 2, most important thing, whatever happens, do not take that mark of the beast. You take that mark of the beast, you can cut your hand off, you can chisel off your forehead, but you're going to spend all eternity with the beast, the false prophet, and 1,000 years later Lucifer joins them, and all the other people that take the mark of the beast, and there is no hope of escape. You're tormented. That means you're in total pain. It means that your body, although it's not a body of flesh, whatever it is, your body is totally being burned for all eternity, and there is no stopping it. There is no escaping it. Whatever happens, you do not want to take that mark of the beast, which, by the way, I would recommend you go to prophecyclub.com and get my book, Miss the Mark. As a matter of fact, it's sold so much, we are, I think, now going into the 5th printing. This book is simple. It only takes about 3 hours to read. It's designed to give to someone that's not a Christian, doesn't know Jesus, that hadn't read the Bible, give it to anybody out there. If they'll read the first few pages, they'll probably finish the book. And if they finish the book, I don't care what God they used to have, they're not going to take that mark of the beast. And chances are very strong they'll receive Jesus. So for that, I would send you to prophecyclub.com. 1 for $20, and you'll have to check and get whatever the other prices are. I will say this, they just went up substantially on our printing price. And so guess what? No surprise, we had to go up on our prices too. But nevertheless, not about money. It's about winning souls.